This podcast includes stories from real people across the U.S. voiced by a narrator.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Pandemic Podcast. Today's topic will be the COVID-19 pandemic and its consequences on society. To develop a better understanding of how people lived during the COVID and its aftermath, we conducted a series of interviews with a diverse spectrum of people in middle/high school.
COVID-19, commonly known as coronavirus, was detected in Wuhan, China in December 2019. Despite efforts to contain it, the virus spread rapidly to the rest of the world. As of February 26, 2023, there have been 6.87 million confirmed deaths caused by COVID-19.
People were impacted by the COVID-19 epidemic both badly and favorably. Due to their isolation from their families, several people experienced beneficial changes in their relationships, yet other people were affected negatively by the pandemic and its lasting effects. First interviewed Echo from Connecticut. We initially asked, how has COVID affected your life both positively and negatively? It's been pretty neutral, Echo says. I mean, staying home wasn't all that great. I got a really bad cabin fever, but that was when I got more interested in things like swimming, and it helped my relationship with my parents because they didn't know how to work their computers. I did get COVID over winter break. I couldn't see anyone for the holidays and it really sucked, but there were still good things that came with COVID. We then asked Echo, how did you spend your time during COVID? Did the isolation affect you socially? Echo responded, it did. I mean, it made some of my relationships better. Me and my best friend were beginning to separate over the years, but during isolations, we talked almost daily, and when we were allowed to get school emails, we emailed each other non-stop. During the day, I spent my time cooking, texting, and doing schoolwork. We then asked Echo about her experience with having COVID and how it made her feel. Yeah, I had COVID over winter break and during the winter holidays. It sucked. I couldn't get out of bed without being in pain. I had it for 2 weeks. I couldn't go anywhere or see anyone. I was supposed to go to an important swim meet and I couldn't. I felt so alone.
Emma from Tennessee also tells us about life during the pandemic. COVID didn't really affect me at all, other than having to be quarantined multiple times. During COVID, I would usually stay in my room on my phone or talk to my family. It never really affected me socially because I was a quiet person even before COVID hit. I don't think I've ever had COVID, Emma says, but this one time in 2019 I was sick, and when the doctors ran tests on me, both the flu and strep throat came out negative. I think it could have been COVID or maybe just a nasty common cold.
COVID first started, Ro was enthusiastic. Well, when it first started, I was super excited since we had to switch to remote learning. But then I realized that we had to wake up early to log into Zoom, so not much has changed there. Soon enough, my family started to get sick from the virus, and it was quickly spreading among us. I'm pretty sure that we all got it at least once or twice. I usually spent my time doing Google Classroom assignments, and I started reading a lot. The isolation absolutely affected me socially from being locked away from the outside world and other people for so long. I would rarely meet new people and would shut myself off from the rest of the world because I had nothing to do. I would lay on my bed for hours on my laptop being productive and doing assigned work. The biggest change was when people stopped wearing masks at school. I still wore mine, of course, but people were finally becoming physically comfortable again.
Cuts to Echo, Emma, and Raul for sharing their experiences with living through COVID-19. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of the Pandemic Podcast.
See you next